Whew. Hey subscribers, and welcome to the fourth edition of Your Questions Answered. Um, I'm going to be answering questions from those left on Your Questions Answered Part 3. For those of you that comment on that, this is Your Questions Answered Part 4. Yes. So I'm going to answer the questions that my subscribers left me, and I'll talk about some other things. My other video plans were delayed for the vlogs and stuff like that. Those, let me see, something that might be coming back within 3 weeks. I'll talk about it on my channel. But the first question is from Kobe456. Kobe456. So make sure you go check out his channel. This question is basically, what was the first TNA match that I saw? What was the first thing I saw on TNA? I don't remember who was in the match, but I remember that it was when TNA had the six-sided ring, and it was a weapons match. It was an extreme something match, and it was a six-sided ring. It was last year, 2011. I can't remember who was in the match. I just remember the ring having six sides. Because I remember I've always watched WWE, so when the ring had six sides, that looked weird to me. So I remember the six-sided ring. I remember the weapons. I can't remember who was in the match. I have no idea who it was. Um, it was like the first time I ever saw TNA, and that's probably where it got stuck to me. Because I haven't ever seen a six-sided ring before. And then once Jeff Hardy went there, I just started watching it more and more. Because I was a Jeff Hardy fan, so wherever Jeff Hardy goes, I'll follow him. You know? That was like my first time watching it. Was like, really? 2011, yeah, 2011. Because the interesting thing is when I was a freshman, which was in freshman in high school, which was in 2007. My friend, this guy that I went to high school with. I know this isn't answering your question. This is kind of sidetracked, but this guy that I went to high school with, he kept trying to get me to watch TNA. This was 5 years ago, and I was so loyal to WWE. He kept saying, you should watch TNA. You know, it's much better. They have weapons. And I'm assuming TNA was good in 2007, just like WWE was good in 2007. And he kept saying it because Monday Night Raw came on Monday nights. So every Tuesday at lunch we would talk about everything that happened on Raw, and on Monday we would talk about everything that happened on SmackDown. Or what happened on pay-per-views on Sunday. So basically that's what we talked about. They had other tables where they talked about football and basketball. Our table talked about wrestling. That's how it was in high school. And the guys, would be talking about TNA, and I would have no idea what they're talking about. But we were just talking about wrestling, and they kept trying to get me to watch TNA. I mean, maybe if I would have started watching 5 years ago, then I probably would be an obsessed TNA fan. But WWE was still good back then. WWE didn't start sucking until 2009. After 2009, WWE went downhill. But yeah, my friends, they kept trying to get me to convince me to watch TNA. But now I'm starting to watch it. That's only because Jeff Hardy is there. If Jeff Hardy does go back to WWE, there's a rumor around that he may return to WWE in 2013. I can't say I will still watch TNA. I may watch it. If he leaves, I don't know. But to answer Kobe's 456 question, it was a six-sided ring and it had weapons. I can't remember who was in it. I think it was RVD. I can't remember who was in it, but it had six. It was a six-sided ring and it had weapons. I think RVD was in it. It wasn't Jeff Hardy wasn't in it, but I was just flipping through the channels and I just saw it. Yeah, that's all I can remember because it was so long ago. It was last year, but I can't remember. hopefully that answers your question. Um, my next question is from a guy who leaves a question on all my videos, which is nice. Wrestling Info 190, Wrestling Info 190. Make sure you go check out his channel. His question is, when do I think Dolph Ziggler will cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase, and will it be this year? Dolph Ziggler. Hell in a Cell is coming up. You know what? Something is telling me that Dolph Ziggler is going to cash in his Money in the Bank at the Royal Rumble. I think he's going to cash it in at the Royal Rumble. Because I don't think he's going to cash it in the Hell in a Cell. Then what comes after Hell in a Cell? Hell in a Cell is in October. What's in November and December? Hot dang, I can't even remember. I think TLC. Do WWE still do TLC? Tables, ladders, and chairs. I don't. Man, my mind is so gone. WWE has another pay per view towards the end of the year. I know for the Royal Rumble at the end of January. Will he cash it in this year? I think he's going to cash it in at the Royal Rumble. I think it's going to be at the Royal Rumble. I want to say the Royal Rumble. I really do. I can't see him cashing in at the Money in the Bank. I mean, not Money in the Bank. Hell in a Cell. That's a good question. Um, I think Dolph Ziggler will cash in his Money in the Bank at the briefcase. I mean, at the briefcase. All right, you can tell I'm tired. Dolph Ziggler will cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase at the Royal Rumble 2013. That's my prediction. Well, that's what I think. So, yeah, that's it. That's all my questions. So, if you're watching this and whether you're one of my subscribers or not, you can leave my question. OMG. You can leave a question. If you're not sure on what type of question you can leave, or if you need any issue, what can I say? If you want any ideas of what kind of questions you can leave, you can go back and look on my channel for your questions answered, the original one, then your questions answered 2, and your questions answered 3, and you can look at the questions I just answered now. If you're watching this and you didn't leave a question on my last video, you can leave a question on this video, and I'll do a video about it next week. Like I said, you can ask me any question you want. Um, it doesn't have to relate to wrestling, because most people on YouTube know me for my wrestling reviews, but it doesn't have to necessarily be related to wrestling. Not all the questions I've been answered are related to wrestling. So it can be related to wrestling. It doesn't have to be related to wrestling. You need advice, etc. Leave your questions on, comment all your questions below. There's no limit on the questions you can ask. However many amount of questions that you want to answer. Like I said, it could be anything, any type of question that you want. And next week I'll do another video answering all your questions next week, which will be your questions answered part 5. So if you're watching this and you didn't leave a question in the last video, you can leave a question on this video and I will answer it next week. And make sure you go watch my TNA Impact review that I just uploaded right before this. Make sure you go watch that.